Operating as a solo technologist often leads to a specific architectural trap. You end up managing a tangled network of 6 different SaaS dashboards, constantly context switching between platforms that refuse to communicate cleanly with one another. This fragmentation usually bleeds into the codebase. You might rely on a legacy application built on Nuxt.js, a Vue-based web framework used to build user interfaces, that drags along over 40 disparate JavaScript dependencies just to render a basic page. Because your data streams remain unisolated, these heavy dependency chains force the browser into a bottleneck. Every query requires jumping between disjointed systems, causing high latency and a broken user experience. This operational drag carries a severe professional cost. Research from Rutgers and Carnegie Mellon shows that enterprise hiring managers actively view the founder title on a resume as a flight risk. When your portfolio highlights 5 or 6 disparate subsidiary businesses, it amplifies that exact bias. To a hiring manager, it signals a pattern of operational chaos rather than the disciplined engineering rigor required at the enterprise level. Building fragmented systems guarantees poor application performance, and it destroys your leverage in the enterprise job market. You look like a generalist struggling to keep the lights on, not an architect capable of scaling infrastructure. Neutralizing this career debt requires architecting a multi-tenant ecosystem from scratch. We call this the Cathedral framework for Unify One. Phase 1 demands establishing structurally isolated data vaults, configured using distinct schemas in Google Cloud Platform and Supabase. Phase 2 requires building load-bearing commerce infrastructure. Products, orders, and inventory systems must be engineered completely free of third-party plugin dependencies to ensure absolute stability. Phases 3 and 4 wire an event-driven automation layer directly into the database, capping the entire system with an agentic AI context engine. Agentic AI refers to artificial intelligence systems designed to pursue complex goals autonomously by planning and executing sequences of actions. The Cathedral is a software architecture, and it serves as the strategic portfolio artifact required to rebrand yourself from founder to lead platform engineer. The first technical hurdle is forcing a large language model like Gemini 3.0 to output a sub-3-second dependency-free dashboard without hallucinating non-existent code libraries. This comparison matrix details the specific performance and accessibility gaps between the legacy Nuxt application and the target architecture. To bridge this gap deterministically, you must wrap the non-deterministic AI outputs in a custom Python quality assurance pipeline. The pipeline begins with Script 1 parsing design specifications from Gemini, validating the warm-neutral color palette. Next, Script 2 decodes base64 data URIs to perfectly recover embedded HTML artifacts, even when the LLM compresses them in the conversation history. This document outlines the prioritized enhancement roadmap. Notice the explicit mandate in the high-impact section, demanding distinct role-based experiences for the associate, trader, and representative personas. Generative AI will drift off spec if left alone. Automated Python pipelines provide the required mathematical rigor to extract functional, enterprise-grade infrastructure. Once the code is extracted, the heavy legacy application is entirely torn down and rebuilt into a unified single-page application, or SPA. An SPA dynamically updates the current page with new data from the server, rather than loading entirely new web pages. This build combines Vite, a high-speed front-end build tool, with React, a modern JavaScript library for rendering user interfaces. This bar chart compares performance metrics of the two systems. By refactoring into the Vite and React SPA, the system achieved a Lighthouse desktop score of 96 and an LCP of 1.8 seconds, the exact time it takes for main screen content to become visible. This text outlines the role-based dashboard specifications. It maps out specific key performance indicator cards and charts tailored directly to the associate, trader, and representative personas. Designing distinct front-end views is necessary, but true multi-tenancy requires complete isolation at the back-end data level. Implementing this requires configuring raw Google Cloud Platform environment variables to isolate every tenant strictly at the database schema level. Separating data at the schema level eliminates the risk of cross-tenant data bleed. Demonstrating this architectural choice proves to hiring managers that you understand the mechanics of enterprise-grade security. The next structural fix requires replacing third-party polling middleware like Zapier. Relying on an external tool to constantly ask your database if a change has occurred introduces an expensive architectural flaw. You eliminate this delay by deploying self-hosted N8N workflows. N8N is an open-source workflow automation tool that serves as a direct structural replacement for third-party polling. Look at the data flow in this diagram. A verified Shopify webhook fires on a real commerce event, pushing the payload into an N8N receiver. The node instantly triggers an update in the Postgres database, executing logic immediately without a polling delay. To reflect this backend speed on the front end, the application utilizes ZooStand. ZooStand is a lightweight state management library for React that allows the user interface to manage role-based data reactively based on those instant database updates. True architectural scale is achieved by stripping out expensive middleware layers and building lean infrastructure that reacts strictly to actual events. Standard AI chat interfaces suffer from a core limitation. They lack access to internal business state. Without your actual data, they return generic advice or hallucinate false information. The solution is the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. MCP is an open standard that enables secure, controlled communication between AI models and your external data sources, acting as the new orchestration layer. This documentation shows exactly how MCP allows the Manus AI Spire to read real, isolated tenant data autonomously. The agent ingests specific data inputs, running analyses on historical mileage and platform yields per user to understand exact operational conditions. Armed with this real-world data, the agentic AI actively surfaces actionable route optimizations and earnings insights that the operator hadn't yet noticed. MCP bridges the gap between secure, private commerce data and generative AI logic. Engineers who can build this bridge currently command a massive skill premium in the job market. This MCP integration extends beyond analyzing text data. It unlocks advanced automation flows, including CI/CD pipeline orchestration. CI/CD stands for Continuous Integration and Continuous Deployment, the practice of automating code testing and delivery. The architecture treats every sensor input, including voice, as a high-dimensional data stream for the AI Spire to parse. By analyzing Hertz levels, the system can extract intent and inflection directly from the audio signal. Hertz, or HC, is the unit used to measure the frequency of sound, indicating how many cycles occur per second. You now have a Google Cloud-deployed, MCP-integrated, multi-tenant SPA. This technical build fulfills the final requirement of the 12-week strategic career roadmap. This split-screen matrix illustrates the professional pivot. Moving from chaotic operations to a quantified GCP-deployed architecture provides the verifiable technical metrics hiring managers use to evaluate lead-level talent. To rebrand successfully, technologists must explicitly document their system-level thinking and prove they have mastered agentic AI protocols. Mastering the Model Context Protocol and building systems that prioritize technical rigor over platform trends is a strategic method for neutralizing founder bias. It provides the documentation required to shift the hiring narrative from risk to technical asset.